unplug it?
I think so.
Do you?
All right, friends, so we're driving along. I take a look at our tire pressure monitoring system, which is why you should always have one on your trailer. And I'm noticing that this tire back here is a little bit lower than the others. Not concerningly low, but decided to pull over, and I couldn't see anything, but when I listened, I could hear a hiss. And so we were able to locate a nail puncture within there, at least it looks like a nail. And we're gonna go ahead and plug the tire. Plugging your tire for the impatient ones, stay calm, pull over to the side of the road, go inspect the tire, pull the nail out, take your T-handle and widen the hole, go ahead and go get your plug ready, lube up that puller, stick the plug through the puller, stick that plug deep into the tire, and pull that plug out, the puller out, leaving the plug in the tire. Lastly, you're going to cut off the remaining part of the plug, air back up, and if you hold pressure, you're good to go. In preparation for this, we had picked up a kit. This one's from Boulder Tools, not sponsored or anything, but I'll put a link down in the description below. So we've had this ever since we got on the road, and just in case something like this were to happen. So first thing to do after locating the puncture is you need to get that nail out. So this toolkit comes with a pair of pliers, and so I'm going to go ahead and take that nail out now. So the sucker's wedged right in between. Yeah, it's a pretty good one there. So also provided within the kit is going to be this tool here. It's to help you roughen up and expand the hole, which sounds counterintuitive, but you need to actually expand the hole and roughen it up in order for your plugs to sit correctly in there. Yeah, so you can see I located that, that's the spot. Yeah, this is supposedly like the hardest part here, is to actually get this guy in and roughen it up. I was able to widen that hole a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and see if we can actually get a plug in there now. So they're going to provide you with some lubricant, probably just like a white lithium grease or something like that. And you're going to take your puller, and you want to get your puller full of lubricant, basically. Then you're going to want to take one of your plugs. Now, plugs come in different sizes. I have another smaller plug kit, but we're going to use a big one because it has a pretty decent sized hole. And you're going to want to grab this stuff with the pliers when you yank it out. So it wants you to grip it and start pulling it out. Just like so.
Yeah.
And you're going to take this guy and you need to insert it about halfway through your puller. We'll see if I can actually do that. Okay, you gotta get that guy about halfway through, like so. Give this guy another good.
Warning.
Several hours later. Okay, now we got it. Yeah, I need to be a lot further in than that. That's where they want you to be. I'm nowhere near that.
Yeah, and having it in deep to the right depth is very important for a proper fix. Is that enough, or you're barely in?
I think I'm barely in. when in doubt, always refer back to the instructions. So you can see on these instructions, they actually have that T-handle spiral quite far into that. So I need to go farther than that because I only have the tip. There we go. That's better. I was able to widen that hole a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and see if we can actually get a plug in there now. All right. I think that's where we need it. So you're supposed to leave about, it says an inch hanging out there. We're at about an inch hanging out there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to pull this guy forward while yanking the handle back. So a double action. And that's going to yank the puller out, but leave all of the plug. All right, so with the help of my assistant, we're able to get that out. And then what you're supposed to do is cut this off. They say just before where the tread is. We're kind of in an awkward position because this is a mud tire, so I can't really get down in there to cut it off. So I'm probably gonna just cut right around there. There's some of that. All right, supposedly we're now plugged. Don't hear any hissing coming out. Next thing to do is to actually air the tire back up and wait to see if it holds pressure. And if you guys haven't seen our video on how we do our whole setup, I introduced this air compressor in that video. That's linked right up here. Basically, our tires go to 50 psi, and this guy has a battery. It can run off of cigarette lighter or off of an AC source. So I charged up the battery before we headed out on this really long road trip, so it should still be good. So we reinflated the tire to the proper pressure. It's been a while. We've checked it manually with the tire pressure checker, and it's holding pressure, so we should be good to go. Just a reminder, this applies to whether it's a trailer tire or a vehicle tire. Doing the plug system is the fastest way to go if you have a nail in your tire. It's always good to have a spare. And yeah, you might have roadside assistance, but roadside assistance might not actually apply to your trailer. It may or may not, depends on your insurance and the state that you're in. And on top of that, roadside might not come to you. If you're in the middle of nowhere, it could be hours. They might just flat out say no, or you're gonna have to like take the tire off and drive it into town. Now, fortunately, we do have a spare for both the trailer and for the truck, and you should always have a spare tire. But honestly, this was faster than taking the spare tire and plopping a new one on. And it's good to go. All you need is a little bit of patience, a little bit of muscle, read the directions that come with your kit, and if you have to redo the plug, it's okay. These things are cheap. So if you mess one up, no big deal. Just go ahead and try it again. And that's exactly what we had to do as well. And we're ready to get back on the road. So we'll see you guys down the road. Take it easy.